I always want to know what's so funny on that intro music. But hey, we're going to talk about some Orange County Soccer Club soccer today. And in probably what has been the most used phrase that I have said over the last 2 months and maybe the entirety of this show is Orange County controls its destiny. We're down to one match. Orange County's in control. Win, you're guaranteed. Anything else, you need some help. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. We're going to talk about the last two matches. We're going to talk about the final regular season match of the season. Hopefully not the final match overall for Orange County, as we're hoping they make a playoff run, entry, something. Let's talk about that. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. We're starting off with Dylan. Dylan has recovered from his 100-mile run. Dylan, how are we doing?
I did not run 100 miles. I would just like to put that on the record before anybody really starts congratulate. No one's going to congratulate me for that, so that's fine. I'm great. I think if you had asked me last week if I were here, will Orange County get 4 points from these two matches? I would have said, nope, maybe a point if we're lucky. But we showed up, we showed out, and now we're on the precipice. It could go either way, and I love it. It's that time of year, everybody.
Dylan sounding like DK and Brad from last week, very pessimistic on what was going to happen. Da 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 da. We got Brad also joining us for this episode. Brad, how are we doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm just thinking about what costume you're going to wear next week because if you remember from the show, we were talking about how many players was Lou City going to bench, and we set the over-under at 4. And I believe they only had 2 match day changes that weren't the goalie because the goalie was serving a red card suspension the game before. So
Hey, we never said anything about red cards don't count on that, but no,
okay, so
I will own up
the
to it.
difference
I
between
will wear a
3 and 4.
costume. I will wear a costume. We got to figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll put a
so
costume on at some point.
I'll implore you, chat. During this episode, can we put a poll and get some of the top suggestions from the chat of what costumes Ray should be considered to wear for next week's episode?
Dylan's throwing on the background chats of Ronald McDonald. Dylan, it would have to be, fast food clown would be what the actual costume would be because I don't think we want to get sued by McDonald's, right, Larry?
Look, the only part I care about
By the way,
while you bring him in is
let's
that
bring
you're
Larry
a clown.
Can I just say this before Larry speaks? Larry, I was missing you last week because I needed your help against DK and Brad, who both were saying 1 point on the two matches against San Antonio and Lou City. And I know you would have been more on my end with a higher point total, right? Right?
I would have absolutely been much higher than that because you've got negative Nancy 1 and 2, and it's not their fault. It's their youth. They're just, they don't quite get excited like you and I do, Ray. They know a lot. They know a lot. They know more than I do tactically about soccer. We all know this, but they're somewhat pessimistic. I love them both, but man, we got to show some fire. We got to show some back, and we got to show all the love to our boys out there. I believe we were going to get at least 4 from this, and we got it. I mean, it took a little extra work to get that 3, but we got it at the end of the day.
3 weeks ago, I predicted that that Orange County was going to beat Sacramento Republic 6-0, and people started having a go at me online about not taking things seriously. So it's not pessimism. I'm just doing what the people so desperately ask for. Or something.
It's just giving negative answers. So how are we sitting here with Orange County still in control of their destiny over the past week? 2 matches against top teams. Brad's shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head, Brad?
Because I just spent, if for all of you guys watching the broadcast, I just spent like so much energy closing the door, and the dog just blows it open in 2 seconds.
Uh, that's
Well, let's
good.
say hi to Wendy.
Yeah,
I
say
Hi,
hi to
have
the
the
Wendy.
same
dog.
problem with my wife doing things like that.
Orange County over the past two matches this past week, uh, at home for both matches against two tough opponents. First was last Wednesday against San Antonio with a very, very, very late goal from Osman Silla. Sorry. Man, yeah, I butchered that one tremendously, Dylan. But that late goal gives Orange County 3 points, and then a draw against Louisville City over the weekend gives them one additional point. That's where the 4 points comes from. Let me ask you, Dylan, since you were not here last week, and then I'll ask Larry the same question. If you would have been on last week, would you have been confident that we would be saying right now Orange County is in control of their destiny with the one last match to go?
No, I don't think so. I think I turned to Larry when we lost against Sacramento and said, I think that might be it for us. We just made it way too hard for us to get in. And then a week and a half later, we did this. So, or 2 weeks later, I suppose, we did this.
Yeah, I want to get the same answer to a question the answer to the same question from Larry. But first, I want to say this because this is how I know Larry wasn't paying attention last week. Because I believe in our off the show chats, Larry's like, you know what, guys, there is a slight chance we can get to fourth place. And I believe I had mentioned that in the show last week. So Larry, you were a little bit behind on that. So thanks for paying attention, Larry.
Hey,
But your thoughts?
I'm a little behind on typically everything. Yeah, I absolutely believe that going into this, I mean, I hoped that we could be the one in, or we could be the two in 26-2, handing Louisville their second loss. I was hoping for that, and that we would lock up a playoff spot on Saturday, so we wouldn't have to worry about this week. But yeah, I absolutely was confident that at bare minimum we were going to be in control of our own fate this coming Saturday against Indy 11. There was never a doubt in my mind, and that's the position that this team has put themselves in. But how wild is it that we are going into match day number 30 for the USL Championship? There is one spot open in the East, and there are still 4 unclaimed playoff positions in the West. 5 teams, 4 spots. I I find that super exciting and super fun as long as we don't end up being that one on the outside looking in.
It's crazy, and that's why we like to always say. I mean, the West is always just a battle. I mean, every team, every season, in the West going into that season, you know that there's going to be some sort of chance. Now, obviously, you get midway through the season, you're like, they're out of it, they're out of it, they're out of it. But it's a battle, and Orange County is part of that battle. Part of the reason for that, I'm going to go back to you really quick, Larry, because you were there on Wednesday to
Yeah.
watch Orange County defeat San Antonio. Tell us, what was it like?
Absolute magic. And if you saw my IG post for the podcast when Danny brought on Usman and Kevin, hey, look, there I am on TV. Yay me. I said it right to the camera and I posted it. Scylla and Partita coming on in the 70th minute. These guys are the difference maker. This is why we are going to win tonight. Now, to quote a very brilliant man, also known as producer Andy, even a broken clock is right twice a day. That was my one of 2 times on that particular day, and I was right. But it was absolute magic. If you watched, Kevin is obviously just clearing the ball. He's just trying to clear the ball. Thank you very much. Good job. But Usman just said, hold my beer. And he took off. And he outran three San Antonio defenders to steal that ball and made a brilliant move to slot that ball in the back of the net. And I went running through all these kids that were in the way and trying to get over there with the camera to get a good to get some good film and get some good footage, good content for the podcast. And man, it was just magic. It was electric. The crowd exploded and went nuts. It reminded me of 2021 when Miko Kuningas scored that late winner in the 89th, 92nd minute, whatever it was, that kind of gave us more momentum going into the playoffs.
Let me ask you, Brad, your thoughts on this match. And did it seem like maybe San Antonio was playing for a draw in this match, in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely felt like San Antonio was playing for a draw, especially with some of the time wasting they did. Um, they didn't really get forward too much. They were more content to let us go at them. And honestly, when you play to draw, you lose. So I'm not surprised with the result. I will take back what I did say. Um, and I'm very surprised we won, especially with how late and dramatic it was. But I'm happy for the result, +3 there, and now we're in charge of our destiny for the week.
Dylan, um, at what point did you give up on this match? And obviously, we ended up getting it, but there was probably at some point you're like, "Yep, we're not getting the 3 points in this match," right, Dylan?
No, I think as long as we're level, I typically don't feel like we're out of it. Um, did I foresee this? Absolutely not. It's when we're 2-0 down and we can't get a shot on target. Um, that's usually when I'm like, ooh, not great. But even in Sacramento, as poorly as we played, I felt Orange County's got a chance here. Still felt that Orange County had a chance here too. We were really up for it, and I don't want to call it playoff magic because it's technically the regular season and we're in the hunt, but everyone's switched on again for like the third or fourth time this season, and it's nice to see that backs against the wall, clock's running out, running up actually, given the nature of how the clock works in the sport. Just to be pedantic, we made it happen. So there might be something that there might be some diamonds, here that could be made out of this pressure. Apparently, it's Usman Silla scoring a last second world or a winner.
Okay, Larry.
Yes.
Anyone,
Hi.
anyone stand out for you in this match? I know you already called out a few names. You felt that Scylla and Partita were going to be a big part of it. Anyone else stand out for you in this match?
Yeah, I got to say, even though the match rating doesn't necessarily show it, Ryan Dogman, our guest a little bit later on tonight, and Chris Haggart. And I'll talk more about them in regards to the Louisville game, but both of them were absolutely just fantastic playing with each other, playing off of each other. It was just so much fun to watch. And I'm very, very fortunate in where I get to be there on pitch side during these games because I get to see it up close down when they are coming offensively towards us. Chris has been absolutely magnificent. Ryan, I'm not going to say too much now because I'm going to save it for when we start addressing Louisville, but definitely without a doubt, Chris and Ryan.
All right, perfect. Well, let's do this. Unless Brad and Dylan or Dylan want to say anything else about this San Antonio match, we can talk about the Lou City match. But I want to open it up. Brad, Dylan, do y'all have anything else to say about the San Antonio match? I'm seeing a shake from Brad. Dylan.
I think someday in Texas they're gonna say, "Remember Orange County."
I see what you did there. I see what you did. I'm with you.
Yep, there we go. So coming off a shutout victory, 3 points against San Antonio, no break, no rest for a team that is fighting for playoff contention. They had to host Lou City, the best team in the league, already locked down first in the East. They've already locked down, what is it, the Community Shield, Supporter Shield? I forget what they call it in the USL.
Supporter Shield.
And I believe when I was reading the preview on Lou City's website, it was they're going for the all-time in this match against Orange County. If they would have got the victory, which they didn't, they would have locked down the all-time best season in USL Championship history, I believe, is what I saw. Luckily, Orange County stopped them from achieving that with the draw. Unfortunately, Orange County doesn't get the 3 points, and like Larry said, lock up their position in the playoffs. But it puts them in a good spot. Puts them in a tough spot, puts them in a good spot, and they're in control of their destiny. Again, against Lou City, another shutout performance from Colin Shuttler. Obviously, the nickname from his sort of debut season with Orange County, or at least his breakout season with Orange County of shutout Shuttler, hasn't rang true this season as much as we would have liked. Not all his fault. Part of it's the defense. But what perfect timing to get 2 back-to-back shutouts for Orange County, clean sheets, whatever we want to call them, and 4 points. I'm going to go to you, Brad. Lou City, your thoughts on Orange County's performance against the best team in the league?
Yeah, very fortunate to not give up a goal there. Lou City came with pretty much everything, and they looked like they were going to score at multiple opportunities. Shuttler earned his team of the week just with this game alone. Made some big saves, kept the team in it, because I still think defensively we made a couple of errors in this game. And offensively, we had our opportunities, couldn't really drill them home, but didn't threaten them as much as we should have. If this game goes to extra time, somehow we make it to the playoffs and make it to the finals and it's in Louisville, we're not getting the same result.
So you're predicting right now that if OCSC goes to the championship against Lou City, you're saying we're going to lose?
Very likely. We don't have the ability to go 120 minutes against a team like Lou City with our conditioning and their depth.
Well, keep talking, Brad. Why don't we just print Brad, who's going to win the Western Conference Final, and we'll just print that team name on all the advertisements for the entirety of the playoffs. Let's just go ahead and do that already.
If there was ever a time for producer Andy hit the mute button, it was about 47 seconds ago.
Wow.
We should just put San Antonio on there. That worked
Yeah,
so
there we
well
go.
last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan, are you as, I guess, down on Orange County after watching them play against Lou City?
No, I think this was actually a really great result. Look, they had a couple players that they decided to rest. Good for them. Did they have anything to play for? Not really. Is anybody going to remember that they're the statistically best team in USL history? No, but if they get a third star, people will remember that. It's fine, and ultimately I think the games become a little more cagey and a little bit less free-flowing and a little lower scoring as we head into the playoffs. No one wants to make the mistake as they push forward and open up space behind them that the opposition can score in, right? Every single game that goes into extra time is probably just going to go to penalties because no one really wants to make that extra work happen. We took it, and we did that against Louisville, and wasn't the prettiest, but we figured it out. We just got to get results at this point in the season, and it doesn't always have to be pretty. And this wasn't nearly as bad, I think, as it could have been. Or if you just look at the stats, I don't think it was that bad. Forcing them to take 20, I think it was like 24 shots or something, but they only managed 5 on target because Orange County largely kept them from taking low opportunity shots. That's great. If we do that against every single team, someone will eventually score a worldie that you just can't save and prevent. Oh well, but the odds of that happening are very small. So, we'll take that. We'll pack the box and try and hit it on the break, because when you've guys like Bryce Jameson on your team, that's the kind of thing that you can do. When you have a guy like Ethan Zubak leading the line and he can hold up play pretty well, you can do that. Also, Chris Hagart, my God.
He's beasting at the right time, right, Dylan?
Is that a thing that young people say?
I don't know.
You wouldn't know because you just had a birthday, so you're another year older. So was this a nice birthday present for you? I mean, were you satisfied, or were you only interested in the 3 points, Ray?
I mean, obviously 3 points would have been a better birthday gift, obviously. But let me talk to Larry really quick, because, right, Orange County did have opportunities to put the ball in the net. It's not like Lou City dominated and it was a lopsided match. There were opportunities for Orange County to score. We're watching one of the replays right now where Doghman hits the post, just literally a couple inches to the left, and that goes to the back of the net. We saw earlier across from Doghman that Ethan Zubak gets his foot on the ball, that he just skies too high, which seems to be something that we see quite a bit from Orange County. So Orange County had opportunities to score, right, Larry? It wasn't all Lou City.
You know what? That ball off the post from Doghman, you said a couple of inches. Nah, that was an eighth of an inch, a quarter of an inch. Because if you look at the way the ball ricochets back across the front of the goal and back towards Ryan, quarter of an inch, eighth of an inch, and that ball goes off the post into the back of the net. There's no question in my mind whatsoever about it. Now, where I was standing on that, I felt like that. First of all, it was a rocket, absolute rocket, and I felt like it was coming right at my face, and I was scared to death that I was going to actually die or eat a soccer ball. But I'm glad it hit the post. I mean, as opposed to my face, I would have liked to seen it hit the back of the net. Let me just go ahead and share with y'all what I told Chris Hagart after the game. And for any players who are watching or listening right now, just know I got love for you guys. But I told Chris Hagart flat out, Chris, if it's not for you and if it's not for Ryan, we are not in these last two games. They have both been so incredibly good. And by the way, in the chats, hey Pope, it was good meeting you on Saturday. So thank you for coming out and introducing yourself to me. It's somebody making comments. He's a Louisville City fan. He traveled. Good guy. But anyway, back to the subject. Those two have been absolutely phenomenal. Maybe not scoring the goals, maybe not getting the assists, maybe not doing the things that are going to get you on the replays, but just playing so well together and just knowing exactly what the other one is doing. Again, from my vantage point, watching them, it's just absolutely beautiful, especially when we are coming down towards the County Line Coalition and those two are on that side right in front of the CLC. It is. I'd like to say I'm speechless, but obviously I'm not because I've said a whole bunch of words. And to quote my wife, I think Brad forgot what podcast he's on.
Yeah, I'm going to give Brad a chance to jump back on here because I think I sort of threw Brad under the bus with this and made it sound like he was just totally negative on Orange County in this match. But yeah, it's one of those matches that honestly could have gone either way with just the luck of the bounce. Both teams look like they were trying to get the points. And obviously, I think Orange County more desperate for it. Let's not forget, Orange County's still missing some players. So it's not like they were at full strength for this match. I will give Brad a chance to say something. And I know he said we need to figure out my costume. For those that weren't listening to or didn't listen to the last week's episode, I did say that Lou City would be resting players for this match. It's a perfect opportunity to do so. We set the number at 4. It didn't get hit. I agree with Brad on that. So let us know what costume you want. Brad, I'll give you a chance to speak on this so you can redeem yourself.
Okay. I will probably not redeem myself, but also I am speaking the truth here. What I said about who would win the final, the team that is a 2-time in a row championship cup, what do you call it? The supporters shield, that's what it's called, the 2-time supporters shield winning team over the last couple years, or a team currently sitting on the cusp of not even making the playoffs this year alone, with a lot of injuries. uh, I'm pretty sure the team that I chose in that, albeit not the popular choice on this show, is probably the correct choice just in general.
All right. Dylan, last words on this match before we move on and just sort of get started talking about what to expect this weekend.
A point is a point in the right direction.
Yes.
Simple and sweet from Dylan. I love it. So here's where we sit, folks. Orange County, as I've said for the last 2.5 months, they are in control of their destiny. A win guarantees a spot in the playoffs. Anything else, they need some help. And if we were to look at standings, really the big one to worry about, I believe, is Lexington. Although we do hold the tiebreaker with Lexington, Colorado. The interesting thing is, literally, I believe Orange County can jump up to 5th place with help. If you look at the standings, because they do own the tiebreaker against Phoenix, thanks to a +1 goal differential against them from the matches this season. If you look at Lexington, it was draws, it was ties, so it goes on goal differential. Unless somehow we draw, but there's no way Lexington can beat us in that category. They literally have to win, and we have to draw or lose. So literally, you look at it, there's a lot of things that can change here. Orange County sit 8th. Unfortunately for Orange County, their opponent this weekend, Indy 11, is just as desperate for points as they are sitting 9th in the East. So they are currently sitting out of the playoff spot. They need to get points plus some help to make it. I have to check the schedule. There's a good chance they'll know what the outcome is or what they need or if they even have a chance before the kickoff starts. I know Detroit City's right ahead of them in points. Their kickoff is at 4:30
Yes, correct.
Eastern time. So their match will be complete before Orange County and Indy 11 kick off. The other team, I don't know where they sit with Rhode Island on the tiebreaker. So that would be the one that you're like wondering what's happening. That is a later kickoff, but there would be a halftime knowledge of what's happening there.
Actually, that's
In the
4:30
end,
our time, Ray.
sorry,
7:30 on the East Coast,
Yes.
4:30 West Coast.
I
So
apologize. Yes.
yeah, so Indy will know if they have anything to play for other than pride by the time we hit kickoff at 7 o'clock on Saturday night.
That would be the one benefit for Orange County is if they already know they're limited. Maybe Indy 11 doesn't really care. Unfortunately for us, also the team that really we're battling for at this point, it looks like, is Lexington. Although there's 3 other teams that really we're battling with for positioning and potentially a spot. Lexington has an easy matchup against Las Vegas. I don't know, what are the other matchups this weekend when we're looking at like Colorado Springs? I believe they have a matchup against Tulsa, top team in the West. That match will be over right around kickoff time, so there will be some knowledge of what's going on there. San Antonio has their match against El Paso. That's a 5:30 kickoff, so they'll be almost done by the time we kick off. There's a lot that's happening here. There's a lot that Orange County will know around kickoff time, as far as what they need, what they don't need. It'll be a very interesting matchup, and we're going to talk more about that matchup later on. But while we're here, let's talk to a guest who's waiting to join us. We're going to bring on one of the persons that Larry Dillon, Brad, I think all of us have said we're not in this point where Orange County controls their destiny this weekend without players like Ryan Doghman on the pitch and what they've provided to the team over the last few matches. Ryan, welcome to the show. Welcome back. How are you feeling after 4 points against 2 tough opponents this past week? And how's the team feeling heading into a in control match? You win, you're in. Tight match.
Thank you guys. Happy to be here. No, we're excited. It's almost like we're starting the playoffs a week early, so it's gonna be a fun game. And we've been, like you guys been saying, it's in our own hands now, which is the best case scenario. We're in a good position.
It's weird. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I've been saying that for like the last 2.5 months, that basically Orange County controls their fate, and I'm so shocked that I can still say that heading into this final match, knowing that a lot of the matches that are gonna, the results that you're gonna be looking at heading into this match, you're either gonna have a final result or it's gonna be in the final like 15-20 minutes of a match at kickoff time. Are the players, let me know what's it like in the locker room? Are the players looking at these other matches before kickoff, trying to get an idea, like, do we need to do this? Or do you guys like just blind it out and just focus on the match?
I think always the main focus is and should be like ourselves. Like, to be honest, like no matter how the other games goes, like we always want to go out and perform. With that being said, I don't think definitely nobody's going to be sitting in the locker room like checking out the results and be like getting like too anxious about that. But I will say I've been a part of a lot of games where like during the 90 minutes of the game, like you do check the other results and like it might change how you're attacking it. Like sometimes a draw might be as good as a win, and sometimes you just have to chase it. Like I've been played games earlier in my career where like we had to go for like a goal difference. Like we were just like going forward, like even though if we're winning, it's like there's like of course like aspect to like knowing how the other results are, but no, like we'll be focusing 100% on ourselves and going for a win either way.
How
Ray,
how does
Ray,
it how
Ray,
go
can
ahead,
I
Larry.
interrupt you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just want to make a comment on this particular topic. That what are the players focused on?
Mhm.
And I can tell you that I'm not going to name names, but I can tell you that before the last game, while I was walking through Beer Fest, I might have seen a player or two's name pop up following and watching me walking through, just checking out what the fans are doing. So I think what that shows is that the team is very loose, but locked in at the same time and ready to go. I'm sorry. I just had to bring that up because you were talking about pregame stuff. Carry on,
That's
Ray,
good.
please.
Oh, I also just wanted to ask about this final match. It's the schedule is helpful for Orange County. It's a home match. It's the fan appreciation night, which I'm going to assume the players look at that, and it means a lot to the players to show love for the fans. And obviously, the fans are going to be happier and feel the love with a victory. With all of this going on, how grateful are you and your teammates that this is a home match? That this decisive match is at home. How does that benefit you guys instead of having to travel to, say, Lexington or South Carolina or Florida or something like this, and try and get a victory that way?
Massively, it's a big, definitely a big advantage. One thing is like the traveling and that part, but just we have been very good at home. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of turned into a little fortress, which has been good. We feel like we've might have been wanting a few more wins, at least like last couple of months at home, but it's been very tough to beat us. And I do think we've been playing very well, but with like solid games at home and entertaining as well.
I'm going to pass it on to one of my co-hosts who wants to take it next.
I'll go ahead and go. Ryan, it is always an absolute joy to have you here. And over these last couple, what are we on? Season number 3 now? That you're with Orange County Soccer Club? During these 3 seasons, it's been an absolute pleasure. Number one, getting to know you. Number two, getting to watch you play. I remember when we hadn't quite announced that you were back with the team for the 2025 season, but I was at one of the preseason games. And you came out of the tunnel, and it was really cool because you kind of ran up and you gave me a big hug, and I was so excited to see you. Even though I had already had some insider information, so I knew you were back and you were going to be there that day. So what is it that has brought you back? I mean, other than, hell, Southern California. What better place is there on the planet, personal opinion? But what is it about Orange County that made you come back for, well, now 3 seasons?
No, definitely happy happy being back. But it was an interesting project. We were our project we were like continuing to build under Danny that we kind of ended in 2024, which I was interested in continuing. And then I don't know, been happy, and I feel like I've wanted to come back. I wanted to kind of like revenge a bit the last year we had. That was like a lot of ups and down. So yeah, you just gotta follow your gut, follow your gut, and do what makes you happy. And I don't know, don't have anything more than to say than that.
Okay, that's fine. Hey, keep following your gut because 2026 is going to be a great year here in California. So if you want to come back and join us again, I don't think anybody would have a huge objection to that. Right before the show last Tuesday, the team announced that they had re-signed Danny Stone for another year to come back in 2026. When did the team know? Because we all didn't find out till about 7:45 last Tuesday. When was the team made aware that Danny would be back? Was it announced in the clubhouse? And what was the reaction of the team?
Yes, around the same time. No, positive. We're of course excited that he's returning last year, and it's always so important with consistency in all types of levels, types of clubs. So that's always a big part for continue having a positive development.
Got it. And you've had 3 years here. Who have been your three roommates in those 3 years?
I used to live with Marcus and Owen, so that's been that was my main roommates, and I also roomed with Chris for a bit, so that might where we gotten our good chemistry, and then also with our Scottish Stephen Kelly and our Swiss Liam McKinnon. So I had some different ones. It's been a good European roommate camaraderie.
Awesome. Awesome. Do you want to say who your favorite roommate is during your time with Orange County Soccer Club?
I think I'll pass on that. I'll avoid upsetting anyone.
Okay,
So
I totally understand. Looks like Ray wants to hop in and ask a couple more
well,
questions.
with your question, I think Ryan's probably going to pass on it too because it's a play on our who has the best taste in music and who has the worst taste in music. Who is the cleanliest housemate and who is the messiest housemate?
I'll pass on that too.
Ryan just doesn't want to say he's the messiest.
Uh,
Go ahead, Dylan or Brad, whoever wants to go next.
Bradley, it's all you, my friend.
All right, Ryan, I want to know what the thought process of the team going into this Lou City game. Obviously, I imagine the team prepped to play against kind of the best of the best players. Ray and I had a little bet on would they bench their starters. So I want to kind of figure out who was the team preparing to play against, and were you guys satisfied with how the game ended up slash your guys' strategy going into that game?
against Louisville or against this
Louisville.
side, Louisville. Um, I mean, looking back, it was definitely like a feeling of disappointment, to be honest. After Saturday, we wanted 3 points, but it wasn't like we were like we understood that it was like an important point and a solid performance. And then with the preparations, like we were kind of consistent with that. Like obviously, like, we'll do our staff will do their own analysis and we'll do the video and prepare on like obviously like how they play certain type of players, and then the biggest things for me at least is like how they press, how they play out, and how their patterns usually are. So both last week we were well prepared, and this week will probably be the same recipe, just with a different team.
Awesome.
I just got to jump in really quick, Brad, because we're mentioning the Lou City match. I got to ask you, Ryan, because you had a banger of a shot that hits the post. Literally, Larry said maybe like a half an inch to the left, and it goes into the back of the net. Larry was also saying that he was seeing his life flash before his eyes because he was like literally right on target of that shot. Does something like that play in your mind? Like, do you like go to bed and you're just constantly thinking about like what could have I done differently, or are you over that by the time the next bit of action happens?
I saw that video. That was hilarious. That might have been some of the best content I've seen. I thought I was
Thank
gonna
you.
die.
I did. I really did.
um, it depends, I guess. Like you always look back and think like, what could I have done better? Especially when the result doesn't go as good as you want to. I will say like with the years, you do get better of like putting things behind you, like looking forward. But I always tell at least younger players like allow yourself to have like a time window after games, like maybe of 1 to 2 max 3 days where like you have your emotions, but usually like after 1 or 2 days like you have to move on. um However it went.
Dylan, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I really thought Brad had another one there. Ryan, you have played, I think, in terms of just league matches, all but 3 matches this year, and you've played a lot of minutes. I think you've worn the captain's armband 8 times now. Um, what has that transition been like for you?
um with the minutes I work with the games, or
I should say more with just having such an important role in the team, and as of the last 2-ish months, especially taking over as captain on match days.
um well, to be honest, like not too much of a difference. I don't really like, I feel like I'm the same type of person, like no matter what my role is. So it's been kind of similar. When it comes to minutes, it's been over to role. Like when the squad gets a bit thinner and like we are struggling a bit with injuries and our depth a bit, we do have fewer and fewer players that we lean on. So like the responsibility does get bigger. But personally, I do feel and try to be like as like consistent how like throughout the whole year.
Thank you. And finally, I think you've scored 3 goals this season. You hit the post. Um, what what was your favorite moment of 2025 thus far? I should say, because it's not over yet.
Ooh. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not over yet. That's a very good question. Um, I do think the best I really enjoyed. We had like a spell in I would say like mid, like around the summer. We had like a couple of home games, and we were playing very well. We were like very solid. Our structure was good, and we were like playing very entertaining football. It was like the games against like Phoenix, Vegas at home. Like at that time, I think it was like July maybe. So I just like have that like time period in my head. I also had two of my best friends from Norway come out to visit, so that also helped.
Love it.
Are those Go ahead, producer Andy jumping in.
Yeah, thanks for giving me a second. I don't usually ask a lot of questions, Ryan, but you mentioned the memory, and I have a favorite Ryan Doghman memory, and it was probably from that same time frame. You might not remember this, but there was something happened kind of right in front of the supporters section, and the referee was what's the right word? A little
Sucky.
I mean, I don't want to say he was bad, but he definitely had some strong opinions. And you had come back and you were drinking some water. And I'm not a pro at reading lips, but I could tell the conversation was he did not want to have that conversation with you. But I could read your lips very clearly when you said, "I'm just asking you a question." It was great. Just got to throw that in there. Thank you.
That's an awesome moment. Ryan, again, we've talked about it multiple times. Heading into this final match, control is in Orange County's hands. Win, and you're guaranteed a spot in. Anything else, you need some help. I'm sure the club is anticipating a packed house. How important, if there's fans that are listening to this that are contemplating, do we want to go to the match or not? Is it going to be worth it? How important it is for you and the rest of your teammates for the fans to show up and be loud and proud and rowdy this coming Saturday?
Huge, huge. It we definitely feed off the energy from the whole stadium, but we also know like it's a bit give and take. Like we have to give you guys something to be energetic about, and then you in return will give us more energy. But the more we can like feed off each other, the better it will be. So I can't. I don't know. I feel like every single athlete, to be honest, will all talk about how much more enjoyable and how important it is like to have a good stadium or like a good game day fan base energy like for it. So it's hard not to like understate like how important it is. So please keep doing what you guys have been doing.
And then one last question I have for you, maybe for people that listen that are outside of the States, aren't used to this playoff thing. How does it differ for you? Because obviously in other leagues you have promotion relegation type stuff. Here in the United States, it's the playoff format. So even as a team that's sitting, mid to low table, you have a chance.
Mhm.
How does a player like in your position prepare for stuff like that? I know now you've done it for a few seasons, but how does it impact you as a player at this point of the season, as opposed to if you were in a promotion relegation league where you're sort of safe from relegation, but don't really have any promotion or any championship or cup to play for?
Definitely, that's a very good question. I do feel like with the playoff structure on it, like you're saying, you do kind of get into that relegation promotion like pressure of it either way where you are. Like you can be top of the table, mid table, or lower table. Like but you're always like you're playing for something kind of. And like as you're saying, there is like this mid table area where like a lot of teams find themselves in Europe for like the last 10 games where like you don't really have that much to play for. Uh, so I will say like I personally and I do think a lot of my teammates as well do enjoy like when there is pressure and there are things on the line and it means a lot. So when it comes to preparing, I just think it's about like trusting yourself, kind of like knowing like well we know we're good enough, and just like not letting the scenery affect you negatively, and just like kind of like feed off it a bit, and just like appreciate that you're actually playing, and playing in matches that means a lot, instead of just like, well, it's not that big of a deal, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a ton of sense, and you're familiar with it. You know what it's like to sort of maybe sneak in, or just sort of the last few matches make it into the playoffs. I mean, look at back at last season. You got
Yeah.
eliminated by the champions. If you get past Colorado Springs, we could be talking about, defending champion Orange County Soccer Club this season, but you just ran into a tough brick wall in Colorado Springs last year. Ryan, as always, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Larry has one last thing before we wrap things up here.
Before, actually, 2 years in a row, we got knocked out by the eventual champions,
Yep.
Phoenix and Colorado. Ryan, it looks like there was a fan question that was asked. It's from a Grayson underscore Duty. Who's your favorite teammate?
Is it too is it too easy saying Grayson then? Favorite teammate, I will have to go with Kevin Partida.
Kevin Part, you know what? Love Kevin. Absolutely love Kevin. There are 4 possible destinations that Orange County Soccer Club could be going to for the first round of the playoffs. Tulsa, Sac, New Mexico, El Paso. If things get really crazy, Phoenix, who knows? But those top 3. Is there anywhere that maybe Orange County Soccer Club doesn't want to play, or do you guys not care? You feel like you can go in and beat everybody, beat anybody?
Definitely. To be honest, all those teams are kind of like similar in the way they play, and I do think they all suit us. Like we've done well against all those 4 top teams. So I don't know. It's bring it on. To be honest, like it doesn't
There you
really
go.
matter for us.
Love that
Yeah,
answer.
I agree with Ryan's answer. There is you look at the results. I mean, very, very, very close results against all those teams that they potentially are looking at there. Ryan, as always, I want to thank you for taking some time to speak with us. Best of luck in your preparation and the rest of your team's preparation heading into the weekend. We're hoping next Tuesday we're talking about a playoff match, and we're looking forward to that. So the fans will be there. The fans are going to show up, support you all. We're looking forward to a great match. And hey, Ryan, as always, thank you for taking some time to speak with us.
Of course. Thank you, guys. I will see you on Saturday, and hopefully we will all be smiling after
Yes, we will.
90 minutes.
Awesome, everyone. Defender for your Orange County Soccer Club, Ryan Doghman. Ryan, thank you for taking the time. Gentlemen, okay, we spoke to Ryan now. We've heard what he has to say. How are we feeling heading into this match against Indy 11? Dylan, you first.
Why are you out of breath? Feel the same as I did before, and I'm just glad that, and unsurprised that the actual professionals that can make a difference with what they are doing for 90 minutes on Saturday are in a good headspace. And it's a headspace of, we know we can do our thing, and it's up to us to do it. That's all they need, as opposed to being like, well, we'd really like to play, I don't know, in Tulsa. Does anybody want to play in Tulsa? No.
Even the players who play in Tulsa don't want to play in Tulsa.
I like what Maddie had to say there, that Ryan took my breath away. It's called I forgot to breathe mid-sentence, and thus I was running out of breath at the end there.
All right, keep on.
Brad, take my breath away. Tell us what your thoughts are. How excited are you? How confident are you against Indy 11?
Look, this is going to be an absolute barn burner in terms of I'm expecting to see some very aggressive players, especially if the result shows that both teams are still mathematically live. It's gonna feel like a playoff game where it's either do or die, and I trust the team can do. So definitely better than the alternative.
Larry, who's the key player for you for Orange County? Who is the one that's going to make the difference?
It's the guys that I've talked about all night. It's 2 of them. It's Chris. It's Ryan. And maybe Ant, whoever that is, said if Ryan scores against Indy, Larry oils up. Yeah, that's not happening. Larry does not oil up, but nobody wants to see that. Not even my wife. I really think that I think Ryan and I think Chris are going to be key components to this game. I also think that Kevin Partita coming off the bench is going to be a tremendous difference maker again, because when he has been on the pitch this year, Kevin's been absolutely fantastic. He's never been better than this season. Than he has for Orange County Soccer Club. As for Indy, there's only one thing about Indianapolis I fear, and he used to wear the orange and black, and his name's Aiden Quinn, and he's a future USL Championship Hall of Famer if they ever create a Hall of Fame.
He's an Orange and Black Soccer Cast Hall of Famer. By the way,
he's an Orange and Black Soccer Cast Hall of Famer as well. He should be. He should be a Hall of Famer in any and every entity that he is a part of, because he is a legend and he is still getting it done. I mean, I think he's number 2 in the league in assists at 33 years old, however old Aiden is now.
He is, in fact, 33.
33. Yeah, he's been around a minute. And he's such a great player, and he's a big game player. And this game's not going to get any bigger for them than what it is. And I expect to see a great performance out of Aiden. And I'm expecting our midfielders and our who's ever playing in that 6 to shut him down. And let's go County. Let's get it done. Let's get 3. Let's not leave any questions or question marks out there. Let's get our 3 and let's go to the playoffs.
Dylan, as a longtime fan of Orange County Soccer Club, a supporter, a fan, a part of County Line Coalition, how is it important that each and every Orange County Soccer Club fan make it to this match, to the Championship Soccer Stadium this weekend to support the team and help this team become victorious against Indy 11?
It's rather important, yes. But in actual seriousness, some of the best matches that I've been to for Orange County matches, beyond the most obvious one at the very, very end of 2021, are big sellout matches where, regardless of how insane you are, be it one of us that is running our mouths and singing and jumping around and setting off smoke bombs for an hour and a half, or just you happen to be there because someone brought you along, everyone gets into it. Everyone starts pulling for the team. It's evident that it makes a difference once everybody's engaged. And it sounds like Ryan Doghman, as I guess current captain, on match days for the club, is saying, hey, we have to give you something to pull for. We have to give you something to cheer for. And that's their goal. Because ultimately, we have to have something to cheer for to have anything to talk about after this weekend.
And for anyone that's never been to a playoff atmosphere match at Championship Soccer Stadium, I mean, you look at my backdrop. This was from the playoffs, I believe, in 2018. This is the bleachers that a lot of the time you see a lot of silver still. This year it's been better with the Gnarlyville, Michelob Ultra, County Line Coalition section. It's been more filled. But this is what you expect in that, and this is what I think the players need to see from the fans at the match. I think it'll be very important as fans to show up and do that. So again, if you've been contemplating, do I go to the match or not? If you have the opportunity, come to the match. Larry, I'm sure will be there. I will be there with my family and some other families from my son's soccer team and some other friends. I believe there's also going to be, a lot of other fun stuff going on. It's fan appreciation night, which typically means some sort of autograph session or some chance to meet and greet with some of the players or all the players or however that'll work. I don't know for sure what the plan is because I'm not part of Orange County Soccer Club, but that's typically what that means. Brad. Go ahead, Larry.
I was just going to say, the last several home games, Tom Brewitt has come up to me and said, Larry, go tell the CLC to get loud. We love it. We need it. So for any of you CLC guys who are out there watching right now, for anybody who's going to be there on Saturday night, whether you're sitting with the CLC, whether you're sitting near the CLC, I don't care if you're sitting in section 3. Get loud, be loud. It's what drives the players. It's what motivates them. It's what fires them up. And that's what they're going to need on Saturday. They're going to need the crowd behind them to make the noise and, help them bring it home.
Brad, I'm going to let you start this off. First, any last thoughts, and then score predictions. Go for it.
Yeah. Look, our biggest concern with the team over the last couple weeks has been making and limiting the mistakes. Don't have a mistake this game. Orange County wins by multiple goals. They're going to come out with fire. I do believe Zubak is him. He has performed in the big games, and the team has really stepped up and played against the best. Avoid that little mistake in the back, and Orange County is winning this game. I'll say 2-0.
2-0 for Orange County. Dylan, prediction from you.
7 years ago, I described Aiden Quinn as a sort of USL Andrea Pirlo. He just tallied his 60th assist in USL Championship, and I think he's the second ever player to manage that one. He's not done, but if Orange County lets him dictate the game the way that we watched him dictate games for us, it's going to be a bad spell. So try and wind him up, unfortunately. Mark him out of the match. Don't let him ping the ball around, and Orange County can come away with this one. I'm going to say, this is difficult. 2-1.
We should have got Aiden Quinn's favorite host of the show, Alan
Adorn
Underwood, on
Quinn?
here for this episode, huh? Adorn Quinn. For those that weren't around, 5 years ago, spell check changed Aiden Quinn's name to Adorn Quinn when Larry was not Larry, Alan Underwood was writing a recap for the match. Larry, your prediction.
I agree with everything Dylan said in regards to Aiden Quinn. Got to shut him down. Indy's offense runs through him, just like Orange County's offense used to run through him, just like Phoenix's offense ran through him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Shut him down. Orange County wins this game. And I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to agree with Mr. McCheeky over here, except for the 4 goals part. I think that we're going to see. I think we're going to see a brace from Zubak, and I think we're going to end up finishing this game with a 3-1 Orange County Soccer Club victory, and then we'll travel the next week to wherever it is we got to travel to.
God, you guys
Yeah,
have
let's
like
look at
no faith in the defense. Everyone's picking goals against us, and I'm here with a 0 there.
Hey,
Well, it's
let's
about
talk
time
really
you
quick.
say something positive, Brad.
The comments really quick. We have Pope Squidius 3-2. It looks like I'm assuming Orange County, the good guys first. McCheeky is 4-2 OC. We've got Freddie Ramirez with a 3-1. I'm again assuming OC is the team with that score line there. Hey, we're heading into the playoffs. This is playoff soccer for Orange County Soccer Club. We have seen the return of shutout Shuttler with 2 straight shutouts and clean sheets. Let's go for a third one. Let's go for a three-peat of shutouts heading into the playoffs. That's going to get us our spot in the playoffs. That's going to move us up to the 6th seed in the West. That's where I'm predicting we'll finish too. We're going to get a 2-0 victory over Indy 11 this weekend, thus making the playoffs. And we're going to have a fun show next week previewing the playoffs. That'll be a lot of fun. And apparently Carrie says, yeah, go Brad, for whatever reason that is. Dylan, what did you learn this episode?
I don't know if I learned anything. I'm sorry. You know what? I learned that Brad should take the heat for being the most pessimistic one and not me.
Brad, what did you learn?
I learned that Dylan's just discovering that I'm the podcast villain.
Larry, what did you learn this episode?
I learned that Brad wants to start a new podcast for the Riverside team.
What?
Well, I mean, he's not very positive on Orange
Make
County
it-
Soccer Club, so
At least make it believable.
He could become part of the electric lights out there in Vegas,
Or like the Reno team that's reforming.
Reno, where's
Yeah.
that? Never heard of him.
I learned that Larry is an ally of mine because last week I felt like I was being teamed up on by DK and Brad, and without Larry here, I had no other positivity going on. Thank you, Larry, for bringing the positivity back to the show.
That's what I do.
With our 2 negatives here. Brad, and Dylan. Hey, for everyone that was watching live and participating in the comments, I want to thank you. For my fellow co-hosts, Dylan, Larry, Brad, thank you for doing so. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure to give us a like and a share on everything, whether it's the podcast platform you use, whether it's YouTube, social media. Do all that. Help us get this show out there to the masses. We're going to be back next week with a playoff preview and talking about Orange County's hopefully playoff opponent. I also want to thank producer Andy in the background and our guest tonight, Ryan Doghman. Hey, this has been a fun episode. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.